Hello, everyone. My name is Charmeer Raindrop, and welcome to This Is How We Do It Digital Creation Style. I'm so glad you have decided to join me. I will be turning off my camera just for the sake of this recording, and I will turn on at the end. But again, just thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you learn tons of information. All right, let's get started. Here you will see the bit.ly, so that way you have access to these slides and all of the resources, as well as you'll have another link to some more resources at the end. So a little bit about me. My name is, again, Charmeer Raindrop. I am currently an instructional technology facilitator for Cabarrus County Schools. I was also an ITF in Rowan and Salisbury schools, as well as a first grade teacher in Craven County. Here are some of my credentials, just some of the badges that I've earned throughout the years. If you would like to get in contact with me, this is my email address here at charmeerraindrop@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter. I love to meet and greet new people and just to expand my PLN. So please feel free to follow me and I will follow you back. As well as here's my website. You can get in contact with me there on any of these options. So this is our agenda. Typically, if I am presenting this face-to-face, we will go through a get-to-know-you game. We'll do a Let's Play Time to Climb, meet skies, some roadblocks. But overall, we're going to have a great time. I'm excited to present to you guys today. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at any time, and I will make sure to get back to you. If you did not know, North Carolina did adopt the ISTE standards. So everything I present today is aligned to ISTE standards and North Carolina Digital Learning Standards for teachers and students. So you don't worry about anything there. So again, please dig into these standards. They are great and they really help to make sure that we are preparing our students for the future. Again, typically, if I am doing this presentation face-to-face, I would open up with an icebreaker called Cocktail Anyone. Typically, we just introduce ourselves. We answer different questions that no one would typically ask. If you're interested in any of these questions, if you click here, you can definitely get a copy of these questions. It's a great game to play. We want to play for about 5 or 6 minutes or so, but it really just gets the participants up, moving around, and just discussing and talk about anything that the questions ask. Also, we would play a Time to Climb. Typically, I present this presentation via Nearpod, so that way it is more interactive. This way, we just kind of play a game called Time to Climb. And it's really just to assess the different misconceptions a lot of people have when it comes to creativity and having creation options in the classroom. This will also be available to you. All right, so empowering students as creators. I love to start off with this quote because I really feel that it embodies the things that we as educators have to consider as we reflect on our current practices, as well as any of the programs that we are using in our classrooms. It definitely starts with us. We are the ones that are planning the opportunities for students to get together and planning these assignments for them. So it really starts with us. And it's a mindset shift that we have to then think about when we are, again, thinking about instruction, planning different programs that we're going to use with the students, and making sure that we are providing those authentic opportunities for students to individually and collaboratively tinker, build, inquire, design, and create. I added 2 pictures here that says to learn something, students need to do something, as well as just because you covered it, it doesn't mean that they learned it. We've been in situations time and time again when we can plan the perfect lesson. We can teach it the way we think we should teach it. And then we get to the end of the assessment and our students do not do as well as we want them to do. So again, we have to then be reflective in our own practices and really just try to see what can we have done differently to provide those experiences for students to, again, play to their strengths, as well as demonstrating their learning in a variety of ways. This was a survey that was given to 1,000 U.S. educators of K-12 students, and it really just talks about the benefits of creativity in the classroom. Over 66% of the teachers believe that creativity does really allow students to express themselves. Over 64% believe that creativity leads to more engaged and confident learners. And even though it may not be the traditional way that students are engaging with the content, they are still learning. They are still getting those skills that they need to help them prepare for the real world. So we want to make sure that we are still giving those opportunities and being intentional with our time with them to make sure that they are gaining those skills and having those experiences. So before I really get into the tools, I do like to just give my personal why to why student creation is important to me. Excuse me. This is my niece, Skyla, and Skyla is going to the 4th grade this school year. And I want to kind of talk about her just for a little bit because I think about her and a lot of other students like her, especially when I'm planning with my own teachers. I like to think of it from a lens of what would Skyla need. So her name is Skyla, and I want to give you just a background about her story. Skyla started kindergarten, and when she went to kindergarten, she ended up in the classroom where her teacher left, and she kind of have a revolving door of teachers coming in, teachers, interim subs, really whoever could come in and, watch the class and be in the class. That was her kindergarten year. Her 1st grade year, COVID hit. And so Skyla was in a moment where she had to not only try to learn the skills that she really didn't get in kindergarten, but then in 1st grade, learning from home. My sister does not have an education background. She is very well educated, but she does not have a education background. So she's now in kindergarten. She didn't get the skills that she needed. She's now in 1st grade. COVID hit, so now she's learning from home. Well, 2nd grade, they're still learning from home. We're still in that transition stage. Do we come back? Do we not come back? Again, she's still not getting the skills that she really needs because my sister's doing all that she can to really help, but she still is lacking those fundamental skills that she needed in kindergarten. Well, here comes 3rd grade. 3rd grade rolls around, Skyla's back in school, but Skyla's getting ready to take the EOGs. And one thing that happens is without those fundamental skills, Skyla, she struggled. In honesty, she struggled to pass the EOGs. And her school, however, they offered to take all of those kids who passed the EOGs to the water park. And so, all in all, what ends up happening, Skyla does not pass the EOGs, and she is heartbroken. And I'm also heartbroken because I think all the time, what if her story was different? What if she was able to have the opportunities that she to really engage with the content in a different way that she has not normally been able to engage with the content. And Skyla is a very creative learner. If you allow her to build and manipulate and to really create, she can create beautiful things, and she really does understand the different things that she's learning in a different way as soon as she's able to just express her learning and what she's learned differently. So I say all of that to say we really do have to find the creative genius in every student. There's tons of students, especially now with COVID, that have those same type of experiences as Skyla does. And we have to just try to make sure we're embracing creativity in the classroom. It's a great way to challenge the idea that there is more than one way to solve a problem. So Skyla is my why. Skyla is my why when I think about, again, when I'm planning with teachers, what are we doing? What are students going to be able to create or do to engage with their content? And so that is my why. I definitely encourage you to think about your why and why creation is important to you. Who are some students in your class or that you have been involved with or that you see or that you work with that also have similar stories or may have a different story? But all in all, I do just want to hone on the point that creation is important because we have to make sure that each and every student feels successful in our classes. All right, student creation roadblocks. In the perfect world, we definitely would know that there wouldn't be any roadblocks, but it is easy to fall into the cycle of information in, information out. We assess our students, they get a score and they move on. It happens time and time again. I see this a lot with my upper grades, just because they have high stake testing. They want to make sure that they're doing the things they need to do to make sure that they are producing the data that they need to show that they're showing growth, especially with in the grade testing. Also, classroom management is another big thing that we see that kind of stops teachers from really wanting to do some of those creative projects with their students, just being afraid to relinquish that control, or even just not being comfortable with the tools themselves. So we need assessments. Yes, that is true, but we also have to make sure we are being intentional about the time that we are spending with students and allowing them to create and then allowing them to display what they're learning in different ways other than just testing the way that we typically do. So I want to make sure that I do mention the 4 C's when it comes to creation in the classroom. We have to consider communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and now just one more I'd like to throw in there, which is the 5th C, which is choice. Again, we have to make sure that we're incorporating all the C's in the classroom just to make sure we're teaching the whole child and providing them with skills needed for their future. So now we can get into some of the tools. Again, I just like to go back and really reflect and allow us to have a chance to think about our why and why we have to be intentional when it comes to creating in the classroom. So if your school is a school that uses iPads, if you are not familiar with this, Apple has created different iBooks that you can download through your Apple ID through the App Store. And they have one for music. There's a teacher guide. There's a teacher guide for early learners like K1 range, a guide for drawing, photo, and video. I'm going to just show you. This is one for, this is just that everyone can create the workbook. But it is full of information, full of different lesson ideas. Even if you do not have iPads at your school, I still would just take a look at these if you can, just to get some ideas. Just because you may not have an iPad, you can still use some of these ideas, creation ideas in your classes to give your students those opportunities. Again, there's always a tool that's going to match up that you can always select. So I definitely would just take a look at these. They are free to download. So I definitely would take a look at some of these just to kind of get an idea of different creation ideas that you can incorporate into your classroom. Again, these are free. You just download them from the App Store. Also, here are 2 links to even more activities that Apple has created that you have access to. Please feel free to use, to just, again, view these, look at any of these just to get an idea of how you can incorporate some creative activities for your students. Again, if you do not have some of the apps that they're suggesting, again, you can pick a tool that you have access to do some of these things. So what is Canva? I love Canva. If you do not know, Canva is free for educators, and it is a one-stop shop. I mean, really, there are tons and tons of templates and resources and stock images that you have available for you and for your students. You can even now create your own classroom in Canva. I would like to take you to Canva just so you can see what it looks like. This is my Canva Pro account. Again, it's an educator account. They even now have whiteboards that you can actually click on, and the students can have access to whiteboards now. And I want to show you, if you scroll down the side here on this left-hand side, you'll see other tools and elements that you can actually build into your Canvas design. But if you scroll all the way down, you will see 3 dots here. It's actually behind my little Loom camera, and it says more. Once you're here, they have now built in where you can add in different characters. Students can build their own characters. Oh, well, you can't use it with a whiteboard, but they now have, you can do different characters. Let me actually go back and choose another one. I'm just going to choose a template, just any old template, create blank. So you can't use these apps with the whiteboard, but you should be able to use them in any other template. So let's see, if I go down again, I'm going to click on more. And now if I click on character building, now I have different faces and heads and bodies that I can make. I can then also select their skin tone. This is where your students will be able to create their own characters. Also, if I want to go back and look at the drawing feature, I now can actually select which tool I want, and then I can actually use those tools. The students can actually have access to these tools. So I would encourage you, if you are using Canva, make sure you check out some of the more options, because they're constantly adding in more apps that you can use and embed within your Canva. And I mean, they're super easy. I use it with any grade level because it really is that easy to use. Again, you can add in your LMS integration, so it does embed with Google Classroom, Schoology, Canvas, Microsoft Teams. Again, it is completely free, and you have access to everything. So everything they have here, plus what they've currently have added, you have access to that for free. Your students can have it for free if you sign up for their educator account. All right, so digital creation tools. So I have linked several resources here. These are not by far all of the tools that you will have access to. But I just wanted these are my favorites that I like to use. Of course, Canva is going to be top one, but these are also linked to different resources. So when you have a chance, please just click on these so you'll see other creation ideas and just creation tools that you can use in your classroom. So just in case you're not a district where you can use Canva, you can always use any of these other tools to really do what you need to do with your students. So this is an idea that you can use. Definitely digital storytelling is a great way to allow students to engage with content different way. They can use Google. They can use Google Slides, which is probably one of the easiest. Google Slides, Book Creator, tons of Book Creator resources and different lessons here. This, if you are a district where you use PowerPoint, you can always just click on this P here, and it'll take you to this resource where you have 20 interactive PowerPoint activities that you can embed and start using with your students today. Again, All of these have resources that are linked and that you have access to. This is just another website that talks about Book Creator and how you can really use it with your students in your class. Again, we also have Canva. Also, Discovery Ed. If you're a district that has Discovery Ed, they have some awesome resources in Discovery Ed. I know that it's an oldie but goodie, and they've changed their board builder to now Discovery Studio, so that it is a little bit more user-friendly and more appealing to our younger audiences, as well as, any grade. So please feel free, if you do have access to Discovery Studio, please check it out, because they have made a lot of changes in DE. Microsoft Sway works a lot like a website, in my opinion. Basically, students have access to, embed videos, embed content, embed text, whatever they want. And again, it just kind of works a lot like a website to me. But students have access to create their own Sway and embed any content that they want to. Interactive images. Students have access to create book snaps. I don't know if you ever heard of book snaps, but it is a great way to just have a fun visual way to share your reactions to reading. This is what the poster looks like. Kind of gives you how to make a book snap. You can use any of these apps that you want to. They just take a picture of their book, take a picture of a specific page that they want to highlight or talk about. They just talk about what they want to actually share, and they can add annotations and emojis over it. Again, just another way for them to engage with what they're doing, engage with the content, and then also just say or express themselves in a different way. So normally we might do a book report or something like that. Allow them to do a book snap. ThingLink, another great resource. ThingLink is another oldie but goodie. You can look at any of these resources here to just take a look. They have a learning center. They do have a free version of ThingLink, so you can use it that way. There is a paid feature, of course. Once you pay, you do get access to more, but it just allows you to so I can scroll down. It just allows you to create different buttons to go on top of an image, and so you can embed content that way and make it more engaging. So again, these are all great ways to allow students to engage with different images. Blabberize is another one. Please click on the link there so you can just kind of see how that works. If you ever use Chatterpix, it does remind me a lot of Chatterpix. Also, Image Annotator. Annotator is a lot like ThingLink to me, but it's a free version. So it doesn't have all the features of ThingLink, but it definitely is just another way to have students to engage with the content. So if you click here, it also would take you to that tool. Representations. We have Facebook generators, fake Twitter tweets, news ticker generators. All of these are ways, again, for students to engage with the content. I believe I have this one. Oh, yes, Facebook. So these are some that are already created. If you try to click on one, it will take you to one that someone else made. This is a great way, just again, to get students to engage with different content. Maybe you are studying someone and you want to know what would this person say, how would they say it, how would they respond to a certain thing. These you cannot really edit because these are templates, but you do have the option to create your own, and students can create their own. So I highly would recommend those if your students are at the age they really understand what Facebook is and Twitter and all those things. Creating timelines is another great way to engage with the content. You can create timelines using Google Drawings. This link will take you to a resource about that. Canva, They already have templates already created where you can make timelines. Again, these are some other resources that you can use to create timelines for your students or have your students create those timelines. Video creation. If you are a district where you have only Chromebooks, this is an online video editor that you can use, that students can use to edit their videos. Of course, you have WeVideo. That is free to a certain extent, but I think there is a paid version. This is a stop motion video that was created by third grade students at my school, and they built it inside of Canva. Google Slides has an option that you can create stop motion videos, but to me, Canva again take the top notch with that because it's super easy and it's a lot user friendly. It's more user friendly than Google Slides because there are some extra steps, but that is just my opinion. Flip, it used to be Flipgrid, but now it is Flip, and again, it's another way for students to create videos in according to a specific topic that you create. You can moderate them. You can set a time limit. They now can add backgrounds. I mean, again, Flip is also a really, really awesome tool that students can use to just create videos and then have everyone else in their class or in their group be able to watch those videos. If you're looking for some more creative ideas, you can definitely click on some of these options just to see what students have created. These are some of the examples from my school that teachers have worked with their students to make sure, that they are, again, just engaging with the content in a different way without doing the same things over and over again, but just giving them more ownership, more choice, and voice in the different things that they do. So let's make it cool. So I want to point out some of these tools. The ones that are highlighted are probably like pretty dope tools. So the royalty-free images, if you click on this link, it will take you to a resource where you can have access to royalty-free images. These are great for students because a lot of them, you're not going to see anything inappropriate on these sites majority of the time. But these are definitely great sites that you can use with your students to just give them a place to go and curate some of those images that they may be looking for different projects. Google Auto Draw. This is an amazing tool, especially for those students who like, oh, I can't create, or oh, I don't know how to draw this. Basically, it will take what you're drawing and then try to help you draw it. So if I am drawing, I'm just going to pretend, we'll see what it shows up. Maybe I'm drawing like a pumpkin or something. Let's see if it kind of picks it up. Am I seeing anything close to it? Maybe, no, I didn't mean any of these things, but I'm just going to choose a smiley face. Okay, so maybe I really was trying to draw a smiley face. It now drew the smiley face for me. So maybe, let me see if I can try to draw a moon. Yes, I'm trying to draw a moon, not a banana. So then I didn't have that option. And then you can save these. There is a save button that students can use to then, oh, here it is, download. You can then download it. If you want to, again, you want to add something else to it. If you want to add text, if you want to fill it with a certain color, you just change the color. It's pretty dope. So that way students can add their own different icons or anything like that to any presentation or tool or creation tool that they are working with. Another one is Emoji Mix. So this allows you to use two different emojis and combine them into one. So you choose a top half and a bottom half, and you literally just scroll over the one that you're looking at. And then It just combines them. And then you just literally just copy it, and then you can paste it into your slideshow. You can paste it into whatever it is you're working on. You can then copy and paste it there. If you see this little guy here, I did create that in the emoji mix, and the link is here. Again, remove background. If you're using Canva, this already is built in for you. Different fonts, Adobe Capture, coolers. Again, this is just another place where you get different icons. It really is just some amazing tools out there that you can use. This one, the Google Applied Digital Skills. Let me see. Let me pull that one up. This one is created by Google, and it just gives you tons of collections that are already created around creating in the classroom. So you can use these as well as a choice board, really, to give students a different way to just kind of interact with different apps and stuff like that. So I would strongly suggest that you kind of use this, or maybe you want to learn something yourself. Feel free to use these skills or these like lessons to kind of engage with the different tools. I think it's a great resource. So now that we've talked about all the different tools, now how do we actually assess some of these tools? What can you do to actually assess the tools, or assess the creations that your students are using and that they're creating? What would you do? If you said using rubrics, you are 100% correct. Definitely you want to use rubrics to assess creativity and to give the rubrics to the students in advance. Allow them to know what it is that you're looking for. Don't feel like you have to keep it near and dear to yourself. Allow them to understand what it is you're looking for and communicate that criteria to them. Also, if you are looking for a way to just allow them a chance to really explore some of these tools or some of these creation ideas, use a choice board. If you click on this link here, it will take you to a resource where you can have tons of access to different choice boards, as well as different links to rubrics in Google Classroom and just tons of rubric templates in general. So all these are there. They are linked. Please feel free to look at any of these resources when you get a chance. This is another resource that you have access to. It is a Wakelet, and basically what it is, it'll take you to just more resources you have access to, and it's actually grouped by tutorials and getting started. So if you kind of scroll down, you can see the different tutorials you have access to. Maybe if you want to use Canva, you want to learn a little bit more about Canva, these are some tools there. Templates and lesson ideas. So if you want to do a digital portfolio, if you want to learn different ideas that you can use Canva, how you can use Canva in your classroom. Again, these are more resources that are linked, and these are actually templates. So if you click on it, it'll take you to Canva, where you can actually utilize those templates. So that's another great thing too about Canva. If you create something and you want your students to have access to it, just create a template, and then it'll allow them to actually manipulate what you have created for them. Sorry, let me get back. Student examples. Again, I've linked some different resources that my staff has created with our students. Also, just some different things that I found on the web. These are student examples, and free to use any of these ideas to then come up with different ideas that you may want to use. If you want to app smash, again, if you have different apps you can use with Canva, 360 images, just tons of ideas that you have access to here to give you more ideas of how you can use these tools in your class. If you cannot use Canva and you have to use Google Apps, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I use a variety of resources all the time with our students. You have to use whatever works for you. Please don't try to tackle all of these apps at once. You definitely want to make sure that you are picking a tool, really learning it, allowing your students to play with it, and see what all you can do with that one tool before trying to tackle on everything at once. It's definitely not about the newest or the sexiest tool. It really is about making sure that student mastery is number one, and then just allowing them to create, but also, you want to make sure that they are learning the material that you want them to learn. So just try to explore, and at the same time give them a chance to explore, so that way they can feel more comfortable and you feel more comfortable. Please don't feel like you have to be the expert in all of these things. Definitely rely on the students, because I promise you they can do these things, with their eyes closed a lot of the times. So again, these are just some other resources in case you cannot use Canva. Please take a look at some of these resources. And that just takes you to the Wakelet. So thank you guys for just joining me today. I hope you have learned something new. Please take any of these resources and use them in your schools, with your students, with your staff members. And so that way, again, we're just keeping creativity at the forefront. If you have any questions, again, this is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me. Again, if you need access to the slides themselves to have all the links, just make sure you click on this bit.ly here. And I hope you guys have a great day. Again, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a good one.